Choose and pick the best one. Get it on now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one.
Hey everyone, how's it going? This is another J-Man Reviews. We're going to get right into the meat and potatoes of this review today. We're going to be looking at Kinnikuman, Super Phoenix. I was very excited to do a review for this guy. So excited that I actually initially recorded the review a few days ago already. And I was handling the figure since said review. And I just had some additional thoughts that I felt like I had to give. And I also wanted to have a more refined process of the reviews, right? Because I do want to give in-depth reviews, but I also feel like for the sake of growth of the channel, I have to learn how to provide that analysis while being compact at the same time. So as I was doing the intro, we're taking a quick look at the box here before I start unboxing him. I have to admit, the Kinnikuman S.H Figuarts line, despite it being already like 10 years old, the packaging is phenomenal, and honestly far surpasses some of the modern packaging I've seen. I mean, Phoenix just looks so cool there. Even if you didn't know the character, you'd look at that and be like, whoa, who's that? Front of the box is pretty standard issue for the Kinnikuman line. Kinnikuman logo, obviously his name in both English and in Japanese. 12th release. I really love that they show him doing the different special moves. So here's the Muscle Inferno. For those who don't know Kinnikuman, I'll get into the lore section as I unbox him. But for now, let's just appreciate this amazing artwork. Really good stuff. Really like it. And he should be coming in soon. Kinnikuman Soldier. And we actually have Scramble Suguru. Let me see if I can show him off. Yeah, we got him right here. I'll do some comparisons at the end. But essentially today, we're going to be taking a look at Kinnikuman Super Phoenix. As I already showed you, we're going to be looking at his presentation. We're going to take a look at his articulation, the accessories, and we're also going to do some comparisons to the modern day Suguru, Perfect Origin, and then obviously I have the Scramble Suguru. So we'll have some fun. I even have the Revoltech Mini Suguru just for extra kicks and giggles, just to make some comparisons at the end. But hope you guys are enjoying the content. This is my attempt to professionalize the reviews a bit more. I had to ditch the gloves idea just because as much as I liked how it looked, I was getting pinched up in the figures sometimes when I would handle the figures. And then also I was noticing sometimes, especially on Baki's white trunks, which I had to clean, it would get some smudges. So I apologize for that. I'm a human, but what can we do? So anyways, let's get into the meat of the video. If you guys enjoy this content, make sure you like and subscribe. Drop a comment, but absolutely make sure you like and subscribe, because recently we've been getting a lot of traction with our viewership, but we have not been getting, not everyone takes a couple of seconds to drop that like. So, but yeah, that's the box. Let's start unboxing him. So Kinnikuman Super Phoenix. Who is he? For the viewer who doesn't know Kinnikuman, right? So essentially, without trying to give too much away, at the finale of the original run of Kinnikuman, essentially the final arc of the original series, there is, get the inside look of the box, instructions, which we don't need that. I mean, I could show you guys just for the sake of being a completionist, but yeah, literally just pop off the hands, pop off that. In the final arc of Kinnikuman, he is about to be throned king, and essentially when that is happening, there's 5 brutal gods who want to stop our goofy, strong, lovable hero at all costs from surviving. I mean, not surviving, from succeeding the throne, right? So because of that, right, what ends up happening is they collude together, and there's this whole plot that happened like 25, 26 years ago, where there was 4 other, should I say, Kinnikuman other than Suguru, and they were all born at the same time, same day, same hospital. There was a big fire, and in that fire, the gods try to use that as a way to claim that Suguru is not the rightful heir to the throne. So, and then the final arc consists of Kinnikuman Super Phoenix being one of 4 other Kinnikumen who have to fight Kinnikuman. I know I'm saying Niku a lot. But yeah, take a shot for every time you say Kinniku. Not our younger viewers. But anyways, jokes aside, that's essentially his backstory. Well, that's the setup to the arc. His backstory specifically is that of those 5 gods, each god represents a different aspect. So one is brutality, one is technique, one is intelligence, you know, one is power, one is brutality. It's like they're all different things. The reason I mention this is because his is the god of intelligence, right? Which pretty great, honestly, because he is, and that's what differentiates him from the other evil Kinnikumen, so to speak. He is very sinister, he is very calculated, he is very diabolical, and he's a fun character. Like, he has a great laugh. Maybe I'll edit it in really quickly. He has a really great laugh. I love villains that have like a really good laugh. I don't know, it sounds weird. I'm sure you guys noticed in my collection, I really like bad guys, but bad guys are only great because the heroes are great. You need both. You can't have one without the other. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I definitely think that he has a great backstory. You know, I don't want to give away too much again, but essentially he grows up, you know, unlike Kinnikuman, who was a royal bloodline, you know, he grows up extremely poor and, you know, broke and on the fritz and just trying to support his mom. But he has a wrong perspective of Kinnikuman because he thinks that Kinnikuman, you know, is pompous and spoiled. He doesn't know all the struggle that Kinnikuman went through the entire series. Hungry power. But yeah, that's essentially that. And then it leads to a grander conflict between them. Really great story. I think the anime does a spectacular job at adapting the manga. They make a couple of changes that people find controversial. Like, I'm not going to get too into it again because I want to get towards the review. But essentially, in the manga version, there is not as great of an emphasis on an ulterior power, which is the Chojin Emma, which in the anime version, there's 2. Technically, he has like, and I guess this is a good way to me to segue to presentation. This is his anime color scheme. The reason I mention that is because if you play, let me move you real quick, tag team. If you play this game, even though the stripes here look the same, in the game itself, which is what I find funny about the poster, honestly. Poster or the artwork uses his anime colors, but in the game, if you play the game, it uses his manga colors. But the thing is, with Super Phoenix, if you take a close look at his stripes, you see how it has the yellow, but then it also has, well, let me not call them stripes, tattoos. It has an additional stripe within there. That's like his whole scheme. He has like, in this game specifically, which again, I'm surprised that the art, I'm now realizing this after owning the game for over 20 years. The artwork uses the anime colors, but in the game, he doesn't have the yellow scheme. I'll probably put a picture right here. And I'll probably put a picture of the manga version too. It is, unlike this one, it's red and yellow. Other one is kind of a double red with like a pink outside. It's a lot of lines, but the way that it's done, I mean, this still looks phenomenal. I love it personally. Super Phoenix, for those who watched the Neptune Man review, is a little different in the sense of I love all his color schemes. And I'll probably edit it right over here, but I'll let it rock for a few seconds. But he has like, again, 3 different color schemes. There's this one, technically 4. There's this one, the anime one, Scramble for the Throne. Then there's the manga colors. And then there's the brown version, which is also in this game, which is where he gets possessed by all 5 gods at once, specifically the god of brutality. And then there is what is the anime only version, I guess you could say, where he's purple and he's bigger and he's buffer. Not like Broly level, but like kind of like a super level. And his shoes change. They become kind of like goblin, like a red curled shoes. And on top of all that, he, again, becomes buffer. But the main difference is his tattoos change color. And also his emblem changes from a phoenix to like a demon. Pretty cool. I like the form. I wish the form was in the game. Again, all these things that I want are probably simple texture mods. So if somebody's watching this, let me know. Konoyaru. But yeah, so we got into kind of his color scheme already, and I kind of already covered his tattoos, but let's really talk about it. That was the point of this 2.0 Phoenix review. I really wanted to talk about how he feels like, I mean, I have to check the release order, and I'll probably edit in right here whether he was or not, but he feels like the final product of the line. And I mean that in the best way possible. I actually kept these guys out on purpose for direct comparisons, which I know I said I was going to do comparisons at the end, but those are comparisons with the other Kinnikuman. I need you guys to see the comparisons between the earlier figures in the line and then Super Phoenix. All right, so first off, immediate visual identification. Look at the musculature. It is like night and day. And then in conjunction with the musculature update, the shading and the paint, especially on the front half, it's heavier on the front half than the back half. I'll admit that. But on the front half, like, dude, look at his front half. I'm sorry, camera keeps changing focus because I'm like flipping the figures constantly. Let me relax. Look at the front half. I'm trying to keep my hand out of focus. Yep. Look at the front half of his chest. All like, it's not even a specific muscle group. It's the entire torso. And it's definitely on the biceps. Big time. And it just looks stellar. It looks really stellar. I'm really in love with it. And you can also see how on the back, though, the shading is more faint. But that's okay. I'm actually okay with this. Like, it looks really good. I'll admit, maybe they could have threw a little bit on specifically the back. That would have been nice. Maybe a little bit on the triceps too, the rear tri, but I still really like it. I still think it looks great. And again, you can see the update in the musculature. Look at the shoulders, triceps, even the rear tris. I mean, his is a way deeper cut. Forearms are remolded. That's why I said I had to bring out the old figures to highlight Phoenix. And this is why I said I wanted to do a second review, because I was noticing way more things. And I think I'm kind of, I don't know if that's how I want to do reviews, but sometimes I feel like I want to sit with the figure a little bit. Because sometimes I think, like, I had noticed that in my Phoenix review, I had like initial thoughts. And I'm not saying I was glazing him. I'm still glazing him, but more so, you know, more refined thought process. But I'm rambling already, so yeah, I just want to highlight the update in the sculpts, and we'll get into the update. I'm gonna actually keep Terry Man here, actually, and we can actually also use Neptune Man as an example. Neptune Man, let go of the ropes. He's scared. He's like, oh my God, Phoenix showed up. For those who actually watch Kinnikuman and know Kinnikuman, you know why he's scared of Phoenix. But anyways, even Neptune Man, who I was highlighting in his review, that he had an insanely bulked up physique and a really nice sculpt. Like, bro, look at Phoenix, bro. I know it got canceled. It never came out. But they were going to release a super action statue version of Phoenix. And the only reason I mentioned that is because that's how great I think this guy looks. Like, he's a SH Figuarts, but depending on the lighting, man, and depending on how you pose him, he looks like a super action statue. But that's the beautiful part. He has the engineering, the simple style heroic action. Sorry, had to sneak that in. Oh, it's not on this box. It was on another SH Figuarts I got recently, and it wasn't even a new one. It was an older one, and it made me laugh. But anyways, I'm rambling. Back to our review. So yeah, let's get to the presentation again. Just really want to appreciate, I know I'm gonna keep highlighting this, the updated muscle mold, because dude, compared to the other line, not only does he pass the camel clutch test, but the gapping is way like nothing. Like, that's insane, bro. That's insane. And yeah, maybe there's a little bit there, but that's literally me cranking it all the way back and then forcing it upside down. So no, I think it's pretty dang good. Look at that. Yeah, that's magic. And then forward is pretty good too, bro. Yeah, really good, man. At least in my opinion. It might not seem like much, but you gotta remember. All right, let me highlight it a little better. Sorry. Okay, so if this is the neutral, I'm gonna hold it. I'd say it's pretty good. And the only reason you even see it going back a little bit is because of his belt, which is actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing because his belt is an entirely separate piece, which means, unlike other characters, I'm trying to find someone who I can highlight. Unlike other characters, he doesn't run into any issues with his abdominal section, which is really nice stuff. This is I'm sorry, let me bring him a little closer. This is a nice, yeah, you can even see me flexing a little there. It's just a nice flexive piece. Very well painted. Very well painted belt. And what do I always say in my reviews, guys? This is not a model kit. I have model kits. This is not a model kit. This is a figure. I expect a figure to come well painted and well made. And wow. Really good stuff. I know it seems like a weird thing to compliment, but again, these are just the extra details that I was noticing while I was handling the figure. I also appreciate the sublime molding on his trunks. I mean, if you look at it, I'm not even trying to sound funny, chat. Even if you look at his rear, that's one thing I appreciate about the Kinnikuman lines. It really seems like they consistently evolved engineering as they went on, which only makes me sad that all those years ago they stopped. I mean, I get that back then there wasn't an anime coming out, so these figures probably weren't selling like hotcakes outside of the Eastern market. But I remember when these were coming out, they were kind of I don't want to say the biggest deal. They were more of a low-key thing, but it was something that, like, if you knew about them, people were, like, trying to collect them. And then here I am, almost 10 years later, spending exuberant amounts of money, and I have collected all of them. Only ones I don't have, and who knows, maybe chat can help me out. Maybe some traders watching, and we can work out a deal. I don't have Brock and Jr., and I don't have the Ninja, and I don't have Budo. Those are the only three that I don't have. Other than that, I have everybody. And even then, I'm considering on... Not anytime soon, because I actually think I want to cool it off buying Kinnikuman stuff. I want to start investing into some other series to help expose the rest of the Kinnikuman line, just in terms of rollout. But the point that I'm making is that there is an original color version of Akuma Shogun, which I found that out not too long ago, and he comes with accessories and a crazy cool like finish on his armor, and accessories from his fight against Strong the Budo, which I'm not going to get into because that's way ahead of the anime, and the point of this channel is to promote Kinnikuman to catch up to season 3, so we're not going to talk about events past that, but the point I'm making is that's a pretty cool figure that exists. And yeah, there's also Strong the Budo. So, but back to what the presentation. So, really love how his trunks look. It's just great. Even the paint job, again, in the manga version, it's more of a sky blue. And it's a sky blue on top of another blue. But I'm not going to lie, the anime colors really grew on me personally, especially considering his personality. I just really liked the kind of dark navy, like heavy dark navy trunks, followed by the yellow. it's just really nice. And what I like, it's not like a cheapy yellow. Like it looks good. It's like a golden almost. And then another thing that I wanted to highlight was the beautiful molding on his pants. Really great stuff. Well, I guess you could say his legs, sorry. But that's how good it is the fact that my brain naturally called it pants. Because the way the wrinkles, and keep in mind, this is like almost a 10-year-old figure. I think he came out, 2016, 2017? And the molding on his pants is just sublime. Almost reminiscent of Yusuke. In his review, I mentioned the fact that I really love that the pants, kind of no matter what way you articulate them. Also wanted to mention this has an independent swivel, but we'll get into that into the articulation part. It just looks really good. And then, of course, thanks to the Kinnikuman technology where you can pull out these legs and get crazy with it, you can get some amazing dynamic poses. You can get some amazing dynamic poses. It's really good stuff. And then, again, look how seamless that was, that rotation, how clean that is. We're going to get into articulation right now. Let's just wrap up the presentation, but yeah. And then on top of that, there's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful multiple shading hues on his jeans. Well, let me not call them jeans. On his pants, right? And the reason I say that is because the pant itself, the primary color of the mold, is this beautiful sky blue, almost pearly, and yet, focus please. There we go. And yet, you can still see on top of it this very, very beautiful, soft blue hue. And it's not just on his quads, it's also down here as well, on his ankles. It's like all over multiple parts of the legs. And it's amazing. When you combine this amazing paint job of the legs with, I'll admit, I like the knee pads. And I actually, you know what, now that I was actually gonna say that as a negative, but now that we're talking about it out loud, I actually appreciate how simple the knee pads are. Because not only do they feel great, like the mold itself feels great. Like that's a solid knee. And it also does a good job at kind of solving that knee issue that some of the Kinnikuman figures have. I mean, he still kind of has it, not gonna lie. But nowhere, because he has the knee pad, it looks a lot more natural, man. A lot versus like Terry, and that's why I want to keep Terry out. I love this figure too, don't get me wrong. But yeah. You see what I mean? Again, it's not really crazy. Like, I saw reviewers mention this as if it's super bad. I guess I'm just into super vintage figures. But I've seen really bad knees. That knee is pretty decent. But again, just highlighting how he's like towards the end of the Kinnikuman line. This is sublime. Really good stuff. And then, of course, as always, yeah, you get some slight swivel, but not as much as compared to the other figures, obviously due to the fact that this mold right here is different. Like the knee is just molded different because of that piece. Still pretty good though, and I like the shiny finish. Yeah, these are his kicks. I think his kicks look awesome. And these are the same exact shoestrings as Terry's, except I noticed that Terry's, there we go. Terry's is raised more. Yeah, you can see it there. Terry's is raised more, but still both pretty great stuff. And it's funny because I actually love Terry's shoestrings, but that's the beauty of having both the figures. Is I like this style, but I also like this style too, and I don't even prefer one over the other. They just look both good. So, yeah, bottom of the shoe is black. Typical stuff. Now, I already showed you guys his face, but just to highlight it again really quick. I really like it. I really feel like they nailed... So one reason Super Phoenix was interesting to me as a character is because the whole series, literally the entirety of the series, we're constantly taught that this dude is like ugly and silly and dumb and all this other stuff. And then suddenly at the very end, someone who's like his direct counterpart, you know, I guess you could say Kinnikuman invented that trope, but someone who's his direct counterpart pops up out of nowhere, sharing so many of the same attributes, and yet looks so cool and badass. I mean, look at the faces. You can see the similarities too, and I actually appreciate that in a good way. Look at the nose structure. The nose is the same. The eyes are very similar. Their fins are different, and I took both of them out. And I'll do that when we do the comparisons, but the fins are different. I actually checked that. The fins are different. But really good stuff. Let's get into the articulation now. So, head articulation does a nice, simple 360. I will say of all the Kinnikuman, again, this is why I was planning on saving him for content. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I was gonna push him down, but I just was in love with the figure because of all the Kinnikuman, he just feels super easy to handle. Easy swivel. Oh, camera, please focus. Easy swivel. Nice neck movement. I mean, it's not like crazy, but it's definitely good enough to get the dramatic poses that you need. And also to do those cool Super Phoenix arm shrugging poses or looking over the shoulder poses. Exactly. Look at that. Tell me that's not cool. That's cool. It's good stuff. Definitely gets the job done. So arms on this butterfly joint back here. Well, no, it's actually not the butterfly joint. I'm sorry, chat. Just trying to get familiar with my terminology for you guys. It's not the butterfly joint. It's this ball. It's a similar thing to the other Kinnikuman line where it's this ball joint right here. I mean, it does function in a butterfly capacity. But I guess you could just straight up call it butterfly joint. Sorry, rookie terminology. But anyways, that's on, then this is on a ball joint. And then like he just gets great range of movement. I will say, and this is why I want to do the follow, like a re-recording. It's not really a negative, but because of the way his shoulders are molded, I noticed this compared to the other Kinnikuman. Especially Terry. Yeah, exactly. Look, you can see the difference in their shoulders, right? So when I do stuff like this with Terry, it's a lot easier, and I kind of get more wingspan. Versus Phoenix, yeah, that's what I wanted to highlight. That's exactly why I said I wanted to re-record, because I wasn't, in the first review, I wasn't extremely cognizant of stuff like that. So that is something to be mindful of. I mean, you can just get around that by spinning the arm around and doing the other poses. But yeah, because of how his upper shoulder is molded, catch that restriction. You can kind of get around it. It still looks good. You can still do what you got to do. I'm just saying, you know, in terms of getting it like a jumping jack, you're not going to get that high. So this is the elbow. What I love is how buttery it feels. Very smooth. Double joint. So it's like, yeah, you can go crazy. I mean, that's the point of the Kinnikuman, right? So like if you wanted to, someone could be breaking his arm. They'd be like, oh my gosh. So I really appreciate that this line. It's funny, this line, I think more than the other SH Figuarts that I own, really goes crazy with that. Really goes crazy with that. And it's a great thing. So yeah, that's the elbow, that's the arm. Oh, camera, please. So this is his wrist. Camera, please. His wrist. Nice little swivel. Bring it around town. SpongeBob style. Looks great. I mean, it's great. It's very simple style, heroic action. Waist. Easy 360. Like, no problem. Like, you guys see how easy I'm just manipulating this figure for you guys? If this is not convincing you to, like, pick up a Phoenix, I don't know. Only downside is, like I said, because of the belt. When you try to go forward a certain way, it can't. I'm sure I could pop him in half and take this off if I wanted to and solve that, but I don't really have that desired personally. But yeah, that's the leg. He has the leg extension mechanic. That way he can get hit by Kinniku busters and all sorts of other crazy special moves. I love this mechanic. I feel like and a lot of reviewers have been saying this too, so I'm not even trying to parrot or echo. It's just genuinely a thought, excuse me, that I came to a conclusion to after handling the new Suguru. Like, it's been like almost 2 weeks now that I've been doing the Kinnikuman content. And I'm not gonna lie, there's been tough days, there's been tough times, there's been maybe some not so much smart money decisions, but at the end of the day, I feel like living, like I'm thriving, like it's been a blast. But the point that I'm making is, in that journey, I noticed handling this Suguru. I've been handling this Suguru a lot because everyone wants, obviously, to talk about the newest Kinnikuman figure. So, of course, I had to get him. The point that I'm making is, I'm just kind of shocked, and I guess I'll save more of these thoughts for the comparisons, at the beauty, the genius, the perfection. I'm going to keep throwing crazy adjectives here, that he has when it comes to his articulation. Like, bro, he's a great look. I'm sorry, I'm getting too excited. He's a great looking figure that I got for what I consider a pretty dang good price. And I'll get into the price towards later. And with amazing articulation. And I love this leg mechanic. I love how easy it feels. And no, it's not loose. It's actually super nice and snug. I got to use the word snug because it's not tight either. I handled figures that have tight joints. No, it's just snug. It's really good stuff. And again, because this is its own piece, it doesn't even get in the way, which makes me wonder, I say this in every review, what was the philosophy here? If you guys already had the sauce, what was the philosophy here? The only thing I could think of after handling this guy for so much longer, and I think he's great in a lot of ways, but this is a big issue, is they didn't want any more for the gappy. But dude, the gappy is not even bad, man. Like, you can't even see exactly. And then because of how the mechanic works, you could seal the gap. Like, why did they? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I love everything else. It's just these hips are not it, man. So I hope whenever they make a Robin, which I'm gonna pre-order frame 1, probably pre-order 2 of them. But yeah, fix that, please. So back to the articulation. So yeah, that's his legs. You got that independent swivel there, right? And then you have this. I already showed this off earlier when I was talking about the mold, but I'll show it off again. Double jointed knee, really good back, really good forward. Just a really good figure, man. I really like this guy. It's the reason I had to get his review up. So, and then we got his feet, right? He's got some ankle rock. I'll admit, yeah, you can see it. You gotta guide it a bit more than some of the other Kinnikuman characters' ankles. Oh, focus. You have to guide it a bit more than some of the other Kinnikuman characters' ankles, just because of how his pants cuffs are molded. But yeah, pretty good stuff. And then I already tested this, but I'll show it off. He passed the test. He passed both tests. That's why I say he's a great figure. He passed the camel clutch test, and he passes the Yujiro split test with flying colors, which is crazy work to me considering he has this pant mold. But that just goes to show how good of a figure he is. Look, you can make it seem like he's doing like a kung fu movie. Like, yeah. Kicking 2 dudes at once. Like, it's crazy, bro. Really good stuff. I really like this guy, can you tell? And he's really cool to pose, especially with how his, like, articulation works and then how great his paint job is. He just looks really cool to pose and really fun to play with. I actually had to calm myself down yesterday because I felt like I was getting too excited. And then I was worried that, not that I was going to damage the figure. No, I know how to handle it. More so like, you know when something's like too good and you're like, yo, let me just chill real quick. Hopefully, you know, you guys get what I mean. But that's kind of it. I mean, we went over, oh, I forgot one more thing. Chap. Sorry. Only reason I forgot about it is because I'll admit this is probably his drawback. is his lack of accessories. Like, this is literally it, right? You get the additional heads, right? Which is, I actually looked through them thoroughly because I was a little confused at first myself, even as a fan. So the one he comes with out the packaging is his usual menacing scowl, which looks phenomenal. 12 out of 10 face. And the reason I mention that is because sometimes figures do have one or two stinky faces. Like, I like the Toguro figure. I have to plug that review because that review bombed, so please go watch Toguro. But the Toguro figure is great, but the face that he comes with out the box, I know it's supposed to be a recreation of a manga panel, but it does not look good. It does not look good. But back to Phoenix. So this is the classic worried face from that older Kinnikuman art style. I really like how sharp his, you see how he just poked me there? I like that. I like it personally because it makes it feel very premium. But yeah, don't worry about that. A little bit of a stain. Remember I said the glove thing? That's why I stopped. Anyways, but yeah, that's the worried expression. This is his, focus. There you go. That's like his, so for those who don't know Super Phoenix, the best way I could describe it, yeah, I could have just did it like this. I'm sorry, guys. That's like his crap eating grin. I'm trying to keep these PG. But yeah, his crap eating grin. It's like when he's talking his crap and he's egging somebody on and he's trying to get them to do something that they shouldn't be doing. Again, god of intelligence. So he likes to manipulate people. And that's like his talking down. So I actually was confused because these two do look similar. But then I look closely, you can see that his brows are different. Like this one, he's confused and worried. Like, oh man, you hit me with a special move. And then this one, he's angry. Like he's like a proclamation. Like he's telling you off. Like he's letting you know something's up. But that's it. And then he comes with the open hands, which obviously is... For the Kinnikuman line, I noticed that obviously, I'm not going to complain because I feel, again, especially for his age, this dude was way ahead of his time. And I still think he is ahead of his time, which is crazy to think that because, I don't know, I don't want to hate on the new Suguru, but if you had to tell me, like if you were to ask me, J-Man, I have to buy one Kinnikuman figure. Should I buy Phoenix or should I buy Perfect Origins? I'm going to tell you to buy Phoenix. And it's not, I guess it just comes down to preference. I guess we could start getting into the comparison part. But personally, and it's not to say he's not a great figure. I literally own the guy, right? Like, he looks great. I got to do a review on him because I keep referencing him, but there's no reference point. He looks great. I like the shading on the muscles. Could be a little better on the thighs. Versus Phoenix, where I feel like it just looks great straight up. Suguru, I feel like you can tell straight up, like, okay, that's like some kind of okay shading job. Like, literally, I don't want to call it bad, but it's decent. Like, okay, literally the word okay. But the muscles themselves look great. I guess I'm doing like a little mini Suguru comparison. And yes, obviously he's like significantly bulkier because they represent different art styles, right? Like, he's supposed to be the old school 90s anime scramble for the throne, and then he's supposed to be the 2011/2020s Netflix anime. And I think he's a great figure. I literally use him all the time, but he has some flaws that if they were to make a follow-up, I could see them being a lot better. But yeah, this whole trunk thing, I think that says it all, right? That says it all, right? I'm not even going to force it because it's going to pop off and I don't feel like putting it back on. But yeah, that says it all, right? Honestly, it's really all I need to say. So it's my main issue with this guy. I think other than that, though, he's pretty good. I like the premium. He feels premium. But I don't know what they were thinking with the trunk thing. Which is sad because, like, when you pose him in a lot of poses, he looks really good. You know, you can see that Phoenix is not as bulky, Let me do like a height comparison. Sorry. I got too caught up in like trying to handle him to highlight the dynamicism still, but yeah. I mean, that's just updated molds. But yeah, Suguru. Wow. Kind of similar in stature almost. Oh, wait. Lying to your chat. Lying to you. Sorry about that. Yeah, definitely. Nah, even with the legs fixed. Suguru is like ever so slightly taller, yeah, but like Phoenix is still pretty dang close. They scale pretty well together, actually. Which is crazy because I was going to say, and I'll get to that when I get to him. He doesn't scale super well with all the old school boys. Or should I say the old school boys don't always scale super well with him? Just because obviously the difference in musculature. So like he looks good against characters like the bad guys, like Buffalo Man, Neptune Man, Akuma Shogun. Anybody like that, he looks great. Ashura Man especially. Ashura Man, I was going to say Ashura Man, if anybody's going to drop serious money on the line, get yourself an Ashura Man figure. Like that dude, I low-key want to buy it because I got him secondhand, but I got him for so cheap and he was in such good condition because the guy clearly didn't care about Kinnikuman. I got him for $30 and that's a steal. I was like, oh man, I have to do it. But I'm thinking about getting another one that's just brand new and maybe getting the anime colors where he's like more of a flesh tone versus the blue. But I like the blue color a lot. I low-key want like a blue one, like brand new, but I'm rambling. So yeah, that's him compared to Suguru. And then him compared to Terry. I mean, we kind of showed that earlier, but I want to show it off just because if Suguru is the newest, then this guy is like one of the oldest. I do have the first Kinnikuman, but I want to save all those comparisons. I want to do a big, I mean, it's a Kinnikuman channel, so I'm gonna, pace it out over time, but we're gonna be doing a lot more Kinnikuman reviews. So if you guys like the Kinnikuman stuff, please drop a like, subscribe, comment, interact, engage, help me grow the channel. I want us to help our heroes reach a bigger spotlight. And clearly people want to talk about them and are interested because the channel's been getting views. So it's not like people are not interested. It's just people have to take a couple of seconds, please, kindly, and just drop a like. And if you want to see more of it and help support me even further and help us grow even more, subscribe. And there's going to be a lot more fun in store. But back to the comparisons. Yeah, this is exactly why I want to highlight that. You can see the similarities there, right? Like it looks like he's little bro and this is big bro. Look, but this guy looks like he has a whole demon back. I'm not even trying to sound funny because I know I have, let me put you right here, meat. I know I have Baki. But come on, dude. Come on. Kind of close, low key. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but like Phoenix has a demon back. Literally demon back. This is a real demon right here. But yeah, enough joking. Back to the arms. You can see a direct difference, even in the forearms. I'm sorry I don't have his fists on to highlight that, but I feel like the hands, not going to act like they didn't update the hands actually, because they did. They did. But the main difference with the hand update is that the older hands, you notice, even when you try to get a closed grip, it's pretty open palm. But the newer hands, they were designed in a way where the fingers and the thumb like stretch out, like they're molded to stretch out less, but at the same time, the grip range from the joint is more. Oh, I don't have it on. But you guys get what I mean. I'm already dragging out the review. But yeah, then that's the front. You can see all the crazy differences. And then the legs, I mean, maybe the legs aren't the best example considering he wears pants, but you guys kind of get what I mean. So yeah, it's a comparison. So I think we're reaching the 45-minute mark. I think we can kind of wrap up the review. What do I think about Super Phoenix? In conclusion, I think he's pretty great. I think for the most part, compared to the rest of the line, he is superior. I already thought in the Neptune Man review, that he was going to be something special. Not that he's not special, not that I regret that purchase. I am very happy, and the shorts for him have been a lot of fun to make. But more so, Phoenix has this kind of premium feel where I'm actually shocked. So prices, I only paid like $56 for him. Obviously, that doesn't include shipping, which is import fees. So that was probably add on like an extra 20-something dollars. But I guess if you want to include that to a $70 something grand total, for what I just received and what I reviewed, it's phenomenal. Because I don't even want to talk about how much I paid for those guys. Not these two. Those two were cheap, but the 4D killers, they were expensive. And the fact that I got him for this cheap and very quick, I know, and I kind of want to do a video about this. Let me know if you guys want to see a video about this, a guide for collecting. But I got this guy from Solaris, Japan, and that was a shot in the dark. But everywhere else I looked, they were trying to charge ridiculous prices. And it was ridiculous prices for a used version. And my rule of guiding as a collector, and I'll get into this more and maybe I should do a guide video, but the point I'm trying to make is if you're going to pay a hefty price tag, you better make sure that the figure is not, at least from my opinion, in used condition. Because especially with a lot of these import figures, it might seem like just because they're old, you can't find a new one, but that's actually where you're wrong. Because it depends on, every figure has different levels of age, but depending on the age, you can still find plenty of these guys fresh in the plastic floating around. Obviously, the further you dial back the clock, the harder that becomes, the rarer the figure that is, the more expensive that is. Like, I've been trying to get my hands on a Revoltech Trigun and a Revoltech Raiden, and even with the buddies that I've made buying figures recently, they even tell me like, hey man, even if I wanted to give you a break, even me in Japan, that figure's expensive. Like, even over there, that figure's expensive. So, but back to what I'm saying, final thoughts about Phoenix. I'm only saying all that to say that for his price point, I felt like I got, and this is why I want to do a 2.0 review. This is the first character where I went back and I wanted to do a review a second time. I just really felt like Phoenix had this premium feel and premium finish to not only his presentation, but also his build. Like, yes, I know he has that shoulder restriction because of how it's molded, but even beyond that, yeah, you can still kind of get past that. Exactly. You can still kind of get past that. Obviously, it's not as, honestly, it's still pretty good, man. I'm still happy with that, especially considering how good he looks. Yeah, I'm still happy with that. I think that's pretty good. And then look, the leg mechanics too. So you could really get some extreme poses. I'm really happy with this guy personally. Again, I'm going to keep repeating it, especially for his price point. These Kinnikuman figures are not always cheap, especially the Revoltech minis. And then in an effort to help exposure for the channel, I've been investing in figures outside of Kinnikuman because I kind of felt like I had everything I wanted, to be honest. I kind of feel that way still now, except maybe a couple color variants, but I don't really need those right now. The point I'm making is Kinnikuman stuff is expensive. So, and figures in general are expensive. So for Super Phoenix, the final villain of all characters, to be that price point and then be this quality, and then they got him to me pretty fast, man. Pretty fast. I didn't even wait more than 2 weeks. It had to be like a week almost. I was like, what the heck? He's here? One of the Muscle Brothers told me, he's like, yo, you got a package. I look, I'm like, what the heck? Phoenix is here already? I'm waiting for the Ami shipment. Ami takes forever, yo. But then again, I ordered like a group of figures, but still, they take forever. And I ordered more figures from them just because I don't want to spoil it, but there's some surprise releases that came out that caught my attention. But I think he's great. I think he's worth picking up. I think if you're someone who even isn't a Kinnikuman fan, and I try to be honest about these things, if you're just looking for cool fighters, cool villains, and with great articulation and paint job, and as you can see, super easy to handle. And I know it seems like a weird double-edged sword compliment, but his lack of accessories make him, to me at least, encourage you to play with him more, because you don't have to worry all the time about losing pieces and swapping parts or none of that. You just play with Phoenix. And then if you want to do a special move, you swap the hands. If you want to swap the head, look, you saw how seamless that was? I actually didn't even show that. I'm sorry. You just boom. Like that was like instant, man. I love this guy. So if you enjoyed that review, I hope you guys like and subscribe. And, you know, the retention rate is rising. So I know there is a portion of you guys who actually legit watch the whole video. So I appreciate you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. By the time I get this review done and edited up, we should have Dragon Ball already up. So, yeah, I hope you guys have had a great time. I've been enjoying the content recently. I hope you guys can see I'm really trying to step things up and be more professional and also have more of a consistent schedule. And all of that hard work is my way of showing you respect and showing myself respect, because I want you, the viewer, to feel respected and engaged and happy. And then I want me, the creator, to feel like, well, I'm putting money and time and energy into this. I have to be consistent. So, but that's enough rambling. Sarabada, minna, like and subscribe. All right, guys.